It was Venezuela's worst natural disaster of the last century. 5 months ago, the country was ravaged by floods and mudslides. Hundreds of thousands of people were killed and the country's infrastructure paralyzed.
Last week, VTV News traveled to the South American country to capture the beginnings of what could be a new international relief effort.
It's called Operation Backpack, and it started right here in Vancouver a little over a month ago. At first, it seemed a simple solution. But as Peter Granger reports, no one had any idea of the magnitude of the problem awaiting them.
It's about as far away from Vancouver as you can imagine. A place very few of us would ever think of going. But there's a story that is so compelling that just like the people you're about to meet, we had to go.
Lots of shorts because it's hot down there.
Perry Springman is packing a bag for a trip to Venezuela.
Toothbrushes? You have your toothbrush? You better take one.
The Vancouver musician is packing another bag for someone he's never met.
How about a hat? Everybody needs a hat.
You're going to need a hat, actually. It's going to be hot down there.
I'll get another one.
What time zone are they?
4 hours ahead.
Perry and the members of his band, the Poor Boys, are about to embark on a journey that will alter their outlook on life for keeps.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, bye.
Traveling with the band are two friends from Calgary, Joel Crocker and Mark McLeod. Together they've organized Operation Backpack. It's a grassroots relief effort of Canadian youth donating hundreds of bags of used clothing and essential goods to youth in Venezuela.
It's humid, it's muggy, but it's delightful.
They're trying to help ease the pain of the worst natural disaster in Latin America in the past century.
A backpack is going to change the life of a kid because they've lost everything in most cases.
Now, I don't know exactly how much relief work we're going to be doing, but even if we can just give some of the people who've been going through some rough times down here just a respite from it, maybe some entertainment or whatever, it's a worthwhile cause.
To most of us in Canada, Venezuela is just another South American country. The sun shines almost every day, and being so close to the equator, the temperature soars to a lazy 30 degrees year-round. One day is very much like any other, but that was before December 15th, 1999.
As many as 50,000 people may have lost their lives in mudslides and flash floods.
It's a day no Venezuelan will ever forget. After 2 weeks of very wet weather, the mountains that line the northern coast of Venezuela became completely saturated. As this computer graphic shows, the watersheds in green are completely full. Then just 10 days before Christmas, another deluge dumped double the amount of rain that normally falls in an entire year. The water, seen in red, had no choice but to flood the coast. It was a flood of biblical proportions. Dams broke, whole mountainsides gave way. Many people who live in the barrios, the slums, that are stacked dangerously high on the slopes surrounding Caracas, remember December 15th as the night a monster tore through the mountains, leaving scars on the land and death in its wake.
We have some people die here, 17 people.
Dr. Carlos Tatas was the first government medical officer to reach the top of the Avila. It's the mountain range that cradles Caracas. This is where the flooding started.
I understand now that they're afraid every time they see clouds coming up this valley.
Yes, every time that it's rain, the people prefer go down to Caracas because it's very unstable now.
As the rushing water gained speed down the mountainsides, it gathered momentum of such force that whole villages were simply torn apart and washed away. Further down, walls of mud swept entire towns out to sea.
Right on our right here, there used to be buildings over here too. They are all gone, and all over this area. There used to be houses, businesses, regular developed place. And you see how devastated it just got. Hundreds of people here just got killed and just got washed with their houses, their cars, and all their property all the way to the beach.
Almost all of the towns along the northern coast suffered damage and death.
He's saying that they don't know for sure, but because many people is just gone, they don't know where they are. But he's saying that there were about 300 families over here and now only 70 families are here.
In Los Caracas, one of the worst hit areas, 35,000 people disappeared in 5 minutes, buried under tons of mud and rocks, or swept into the Caribbean. In the eerie stillness of what's left, Christmas decorations still dangle from some homes. The smell of death has settled here. It's now believed that 100,000 Venezuelans are missing, presumed dead. 350,000 people are homeless, many living in tent cities across the country. Many towns will be knocked down and transformed into permanent cemeteries. The coastal resorts are virtually empty, as bodies are still washing up on the shore months after the slides. The cleanup will take years. The international community has made pledges of $35 million US to help rebuild, but relief money isn't exactly flooding in as promised.
The Venezuelan government says it's received $2.2 million in relief so far in what will cost $20 to $30 billion to fix over the next decade. A few hundred backpacks seems insignificant, but just try telling that to the first kid to receive one.
Yeah, go ahead, open it. I'll show you. This is from Canada, teens in Canada, right?
This 15-year-old lost his parents, his siblings, his grandparents, and his home in the flood. The backpack is welcomed.
That was the first backpack given away for Operation Backpack. How are you feeling about that?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful, and that's the whole point of it, is to find these kind of kids. You know, you see the smile on his face. You know,
says it all.
Yeah, and he needs the stuff.
But before congratulations can be offered, Operation Backpack's first mission hits a serious snag. Most of the 300 backpacks filled by Western Canadians are stalled in Miami, because the Venezuelan military says it has other goods that have to be transported first.
Let's get 100 backpacks. Now, what I'd like to do,
So Perry and the Poor Boys organize an emergency concert, playing before a crowd of rich teens in Caracas, asking for help.
Go through your closets. I did this before I left. We came up with 2 backpacks full of stuff that my wife and I didn't need. And we don't miss it.
The next day, a little miracle occurs in a country in desperate need of miracles. That story tomorrow on VTV News at 6. In Venezuela, I'm Peter Granger, VTV News.
And tomorrow on VTV News at 6, another installment of Operation Backpack. If you want more information or you'd like to offer help, here's the toll-free number.
It's 1-877-462-4246.